This is Sakina Bhatt and welcome to Tibet This Week, a weekly news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Central Tibetan Administration. Let's look at the headlines. His Holiness the Dalai Lama on cultivating a good heart. Tibetan Buddhist school in Kham Drakgo forcibly demolished. 3 Kalons of 16th Kashag sworn in by Chief Justice Commissioner. Sikyong launches 16 Kashag's flagship initiative, Voluntary Tibet Advocacy Group, VTAG. CTA's Department of Home convenes 14th Administrative Conference of Tibetan Settlement Officers. Taiwan Parliamentary Human Rights Commission felicitates Representative Kelsang Gyaltsen of Office of Tibet, Taiwan. Tibetan community in Belgium takes center stage in the Latin America Food and Culture Festival in Antwerp. Chinese Liaison officer participates in 17th Conference of Overseas Chinese Democracy Movement. Office of Tibet, London at Glasgow COP26 Conference and Scottish Parliament. Deputy Speaker attends former Army Major General G.T. Bakshi's book launch and talk on Tibet. His Holiness the Dalai Lama said that a good heart, a warm heart and a more compassionate heart is the basis of our survival during a talk to the Foreign Correspondents Club of Japan about cultivating a good heart on Wednesday this week.
Now in modern education, without touching religion, simply for a healthy body, with a peace of mind, for that basis is some sort of explanation how to reduce anger, anxiety, and how to develop inner peace. And for that, warm-heartedness is the key thing.
According to the Dharamshala-based Tibet Times, Chinese authorities in Drakgo County in Tibet's traditional Kham province have ordered Tibetans to demolish a Tibetan Buddhist school after falsely alleging that the school has violated the land use law. Gyeden Nangten School, under the administration of Drakgo's Gyeden Rapten Namgyeling Monastery, was taken down on 31st October after receiving the official order. In the past, the Chinese authorities have expelled around 20 students from the school, claiming that the students have not reached the appropriate age to attend schools. The school used to accommodate around 130 students, providing both traditional and modern educations, such as language and grammar classes, including Tibetan, Chinese, English, and Buddhist philosophy courses. The 3 elected Kalons, Gary Dolma, Tharlam Dolma and Norzen Dolma, took the oath of office as the cabinet ministers of the 16th Kashag by the Chief Justice Commissioner Sunam Norbu Dhakpo of Tibetan Supreme Justice Commission on Wednesday this week. After the event, the Kalons attended their first cabinet meeting chaired by Sikyong at Kashag, following which they headed to their respective departments. They were warmly greeted and welcomed by the secretaries and staff of their departments. Kalon Tharlam Dolma took charge as the Kalon of Education Department, Kalon Dolma Gary took charge of the Department of Security, and Kalon Norzen Dolma took charge of the Department of Information and International Relations from Wednesday this week after the official ceremony. The official swearing-in ceremony was conducted at Sikyong Hall in the presence of the Parliament Standing Committee members, Justice Commissioners, settlement officers and the secretaries of various departments of Central Tibetan Administration. The Kalons were nominated by Sikyong and approved by the 17th Tibetan Parliament in exile.
I feel I have a lot to first learn, to understand, because the responsibility that I have is not only important but also sensitive. And even though I have some experience in being in the cabinet earlier, but this time it's a huge challenge. It is very different. So I'm all ready to learn, to work hard, and to move forward.
My first priority will be to ensure that a right kind of education is imparted and a real learning, teaching culture is cultivated in every school under my charge. That is my first priority.
I feel deeply honored that Pandit Sikyong Pempasringla has nominated three women candidates, and majority of the Tibetan Parliament has approved those three nominees, and this is a historic moment for the Tibetan society because this is the first time that the majority number of the Kalyan nominee has been women, and it was approved by the Parliament.
Sikyong Pempasring of the Central Tibetan Administration launched the 16th Kashag's new initiative, Voluntary Tibet Advocacy Group in Zurich during a meeting with the Tibetan community in Switzerland and Liechtenstein on Saturday last week. Voluntary Tibet Advocacy Group or VTAG's primary objective is to reinforce the existing advocacy campaigns across the world by providing a platform to every Tibetan to contribute in their own ways for the larger cause of Tibet. In his address, Sikyong called on the Tibetan public to join the VTAG initiative and said, Tibetan community in diaspora is undergoing significant social and demographic changes. As of today, Tibetans are spread over 25 countries and have become nationals of their respective countries. Despite the challenges posed by such changes, the experiences of being nationals of the country, understanding of local languages and system of governance provide a unique opportunity for them to actively engage in garnering international support for Tibet. The Central Tibetan Administration has been advocating for Tibet by Tibetans in Antwerp, Belgium, Netherlands and Paris earlier this week. Ms. Duktenki, Department of Information and International Relations, Human Rights and Advocacy Dex, emphasized the need for youths to take more responsibility in advocating for Tibet.
So we received very constructive and positive response from these meetings. In average, we spent around 2 hours interacting with the Tibetan communities, and we look forward to the formation of VTAGs in not just this region but around the world to carry forward this initiative that aims to strengthen the advocacy for Tibet.
Earlier, Sikyong Pempasring had gone to the Switzerland National Council and met with Nicolas Walder, member of the Swiss National Council and president of the Swiss Parliamentary Support Group for Tibet, and National Council members Ms. Priska Breyer-Hemo and Cedric Wormuth. Nicolas Walder informed Sikyong that he is optimistic that the Parliamentary Support Group for Tibet will get bigger with more members in the future.
Very interesting also to see his vision, to share his vision and that he shared with us, and also to discuss on what could be taken, what measures we could take in the Swiss Parliament, but by Switzerland as a whole, to help Tibet and Tibetan population.
Sikyong also met with Mario Fer, member of the Government Council of Zurich, and apprised him on the grim political and human rights situation inside Tibet. Sikyong Pempasring emphasized on facilitating basic necessities to the deficient Tibetans in settlements, which he noted was a primary objective of the Home Department during the 14th Administrative Conference of the Tibetan Settlement Officers organized by Central Tibetan Administration's Department of Home in Dharamshala on Tuesday this week. Sikyong explained that his cabinet intends to survey the factual poverty population across Tibetan settlements in India, Bhutan and Nepal. The three-day general meeting, which concluded on Thursday this week, includes the participation of 43 settlement officers of India, Nepal and Bhutan. The event discussed about 12 agendas relating to the welfare of the Tibetan and new initiatives. Following the administrative conference, the Department of Home also organized the 8th Agriculture and Cooperative Conference of 18 agricultural-based Tibetan settlements in India, Nepal and Bhutan, and 15 Tibetan cooperatives in India, starting on Friday this week.
The objective of this 3 days conference and 2 more days to go with the cooperative societies is to develop a system within the governance so that it'll make it easier for everybody to follow through with a good set of systems. Then we can focus on other areas. They will discuss more on developing a system, whether it's demographic or whether it's dealing between the central and the settlement officers, or whether it's to do with the number of people that they have to, because people don't give too much importance on numbers. So that's why this time we have to stress on the importance of statistics, which should be the basis to form any policies and programs.
The Secretary of the Taiwan Parliamentary Human Rights Commission hoped for future cooperation in human rights between the Commission and Tibetan, Uyghur, Mongolian and Hong Kongers on Friday last week. The banquet was attended by the Commission's Chair Wang Ting-yu and Secretary Wer Kai-shi, along with members of the Commission, Tibetan supporters and journalists. Representative Bawa Kelsang Gyaltsen from the Office of Tibet Taiwan and Secretary Sonam Dorji were invited to the banquet hosted by the Taiwan Parliamentary Human Rights Commission. The Tibetan community in Belgium showcased Tibetan food and cultural items, taking the center stage at the Latin America Food and Cultural Festival on Saturday last week. Representative Tashi Phuntsok, who was a special guest at the festival, spoke about the Tibetan cause and informed the Latino audience that for South America, there is also an Office of Tibet in Brazil. Apart from Tibetans, over 20 Latin American communities representing their countries took part in the festival. Representative Tashi Phuntsok also attended His Holiness the Dalai Lama's belated birthday celebration organized by Dome Association in Belgium on the same day. Organizers said that the celebration was delayed due to the pandemic. The three-day 17th Conference of Overseas Chinese Democracy Activists deliberated on how to enhance and amplify the movement for democracy among the general Chinese public and discussed the developments in China's political and societal sphere. Sultim Gyatso, Chinese liaison officer at the Office of Tibet, Washington, D.C., explained the issue of Tibet during the conference. Wang Dan, a prominent Chinese descendant and a student activist who took part in the Tiananmen Square protest, as well as Yan Chachi, scholar and political advisor, also attended the conference, which started on Friday last week. The Scottish Parliament members assured their full support for Tibet issues and agreed to put motion debate on Tibet in the Scottish Parliament during the four-day UN Climate Change Conference COP26 in Glasgow that started on Thursday last week. Representative Mr. Sonam Tsering Frasi and staff Ms. Tsering Somo of Office of Tibet London advocated for Tibet's environment and human rights violations inside Tibet on the sideline of the COP26. Major General G.D. Bakshi applauded how Tibetans fought against the communist government of China and highlighted the importance of rivers that flow from Tibet at his book launch and talk on Tibet organized by the Bharat-Tibet Sahyog Manch in Dharamshala on Monday this week. Deputy Speaker Dolma Tsering of the 17th Tibetan Parliament in Exile attended veteran Army Major General G.D. Bakshi's book launch and spoke about the grim situation inside Tibet. In her keynote speech on Indo-Tibet-China, A New Perspective of 2021, the Deputy Speaker spoke about the invasion of Tibet by China being the root cause of the border dispute between India and China, while also noting that independent Tibet served as a buffer state between them. So much for this week. See you next time and have a good weekend.